Hey, welcome everyone. Saturday afternoon, May 3rd, and I'm back again. Just hold on one second. Hope everyone is doing well. I don't know how long of a stream this is going to be today because I am traveling tomorrow and got a couple of things I need to get done before traveling. I still haven't even packed yet. I'm heading up to New Jersey by car to take my sister back home. So she's kind of like a snowbird. She has a place down here and she's got a place up in Jersey, and she spends half the year here and half the year there. And she goes back to New Jersey up north for the summer because it's too hot for her here during the season. So anyway, that's my plan. So I wanted to just quick jump on, say hello, say hi to everybody. Did a quick breakfast ride this morning. In fact, I caught part of Jeremy's stream, and I do have to watch the rest on VOD. But yeah, so, and then what else I'd like to do today too is potentially try to bang out another video and get it published before the end of the day, so that I can then have the evening to spend a little time with the missus. So that said, get right into it. First off, a couple things. Changed a couple of things around in the studio lighting wise. So let me know what you guys think, if it's better or worse than my usual. So I'll tell you what I did. Behind me, I eliminated one of the lights. So I used to have two lights back there, and it kind of illuminated, the second light kind of illuminated this area behind the PTZ cam. So that's one change that I made. And the other change that I made is I changed my fill light, that one there, to a regular circular softbox. I had just the very inexpensive 16 by 24, I think, softbox there as my fill light. But since we broke down the sports show, I had extra lights to use, so I figured why not. So anyway, this is the first time I'm using this lighting. So let me know what you guys think. And that said, let's go over to the comments and see who's all here. And again, my plan was to hopefully go live today, but I wasn't really sure if I was going to get to it. That's why I didn't really schedule it too far ahead of time. So we have Grish in the first spot. Hello. Hey, Grish, I can't believe twice this week I beat you out for the first spot, which is very unusual, but hey, I'll take it. Yes, the notification squad is here, and we will just touch on the Synology saga, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I don't really have a lot to update. Just one little thing. Jeremy, welcome. Hopefully the rest of your stream went well and you got through what you wanted to cover. Thank you for being here. I literally got back from that breakfast ride at about 12:15. So this is the quickest I've thrown something together. We do on average about 100 miles to 120 miles round trip, 50 to 60 miles to get to breakfast, have a little something to eat, and come back. So, and the weather's beautiful. It's like mid 70s this time of morning. Later on in the day, it's going to jump into the mid 80s for sure. But anyway, so that's the ticket with that. Grish says he's loving the studio shot. That's the PTZ over the shoulder shot. So I appreciate that, Grish. Thanks. I tried something different with the countdown as well, with the kind of faded out screen and the music. So let me know what you guys think of that whole thing with the live studio shot as well as the music and the kind of glazed over shot. So anyway, but I'm glad you like that over the shoulder shot. Appreciate it. James Holloway, good morning. and it's actually afternoon here where I'm at on the East Coast. So, but if it's morning by you, good morning. And Grish says I'm only first a lot because I ring the bell and get notifications. And he clicks and no one is there. Jeremy says, happy to hang. I've been pushing forward on spring cleaning tasks ever since ending my stream, making progress. Excellent. Very, very cool. So like I said, little changes with the lighting. Let me know what you guys think. This is not too many of you here, but I don't expect on such short notice. So, all right. So really quick with the Synology update. I don't really have a lot to report with that other than the fact of when the official release date is going to be for the new 925 Plus series. It's already been released in other countries. Robbie over at NAS Compares recently did a video on it. I think has his hands on one. I'm not sure, but it's already been released there. It's also available on websites in the other countries. Not yet on the US site. According to my contact over at Synology, the release date for the US is May 7th. And I know that because I requested a review unit. I figured I wanted to see what it's all about, regardless of the controversy. And his response to me was, hit me up after the US release date. He said there are a ton of creators, that want these units to review. So I asked him with that, I said, when is the release date? And he told me he wrote back and said May 7th. So look for it this Wednesday to be, I'm assuming, available on Synology's US version of the website. And as far as whether or not I get one of those units is really all, I guess, going to remain to be seen. I mean, I do have a lot of Synology videos on my channel over the years. However, there are a lot bigger channels out there that cover Synology from a subscriber standpoint than mine. So I'm assuming if many of the content creators are reviewing it, I'm assuming they'll give the review units out to the people, obviously with the larger subscriber base. So, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. I will make the request, like he said, on Wednesday morning and see what kind of response I get. Speaking of subscribers, I rolled over the 24,000 subscriber mark, I believe, on Thursday. So we are somewhere up and around, let me take a quick look, 24,007, 24,008, somewhere around there. 24,012. It was 24,007 this morning when I woke up. So, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm happy with, I wish the growth of the channel was a little, faster than it really is, but I do what I do because I enjoy it. I didn't get into YouTube to make money. Like, that wasn't my intent when I started this. My intent was to basically give back to the community, use my teaching skills, my training to kind of give back. And if I learn something new, to share it with people. And that's it. Obviously, as the YouTube machine gets rolling, you start to learn more about. I mean, honestly, when I created my YouTube channel, I didn't even realize there was an option to make money or a channel to, generate revenue. So I literally started it to just, like I said, give back, utilize my teaching strengths, and also, at my age, I was 55 when I retired. That was 8 years ago. At my age, I also wanted to try to keep the brain young and stimulated. So, again, those were my motivations for starting the YouTube channel. As always, you get, like I said, as the YouTube machine starts to roll and you start to learn what the possibilities are, of course, you want to make money if you can, but that was never my intention. It was just to, like I said, give back and grow the channel, but not for any reason in particular. It wasn't for monetary reasons, to be honest. So in any event, that's the deal. So if you guys can give me either a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the video quality, the lighting, and the audio, that would be great. And that's pretty much the update on the Synology that I have for you. Is just look for the official release on Wednesday, May 7th, this coming week. We have 7 people here. We just had 9. We lost 2. If you're here, please say hello in the comments. Okay. Traveling up north. My sister lives in New Jersey. When I go up north, which is twice a year, once to bring her home in the spring, and then again in the fall to bring her back down because she's afraid to make the drive alone. So I take advantage of being up there, and from where my sister lives to where Joe lives is not a far ride. So if Joe's available, I usually try to make a point to connect with Joe and Ashley. And I will be doing that again on this trip for a couple of days. In fact, I am actually working a job with Joe on Tuesday. He's putting me to work, but it'll be fun because it'll be switching. I think it's some kind of corporate event, and I'll be behind the ATEM, so that'll be pretty cool. So let's go back to the comments real quick. There's only 2. Jeremy says, thumbs up on the video quality, looks good. Okay, appreciate that, because I have a specific use case for that second light that I took out of service. I'm loaning some gear to some very close friends of mine who want to start a wrestling podcast. I'm not going to produce it, but I have tons of gear laying around that I can lend them at least to get it off the ground. And one of them was one of the lights. So I didn't want to have to buy another one just to lend to them. So I figured if I could do without one here for the stuff I do, that would be great. So thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And Grish wants to know if we're making a B&H run. Not on this trip, Grish, but because we don't have a lot of time. But in the fall, when I go back up in October, we're going to hit the Jacob Javits Center in New York City because NAB, the New York NAB, it will be happening. So Joe and I are going to definitely hit NAB New York. And I said to him, while we're in New York, might as well hit up B&H. So that's the plan for the fall in October, God willing. So we will see. All right, so we have 6 of you here, 4 likes. I'll take it. So what was I going to cover today? I found out this week from another YouTuber, a guy by the name of Tim, and his channel is Mr. Tim Tech. You might know who he is, you might not. In any event, Tim and I have been corresponding a lot back and forth because we're both into GrandStream, and he tests things, I test things, we bounce things off of each other. So he saw my video on the GCC firmware, the beta firmware update that was, well, it wasn't released officially, but it's out there in beta with all the different features that are coming to the GCC once the firmware becomes released as a stable. And he said to me, hey, Tony, I don't know if you are aware of it, but there's a beta firmware out there now for the 7800 series switches. And apparently in the release notes, it says something about addressing the loud fan noise. I wonder if that would be an option for you with that loud, noisy 7806 that you have. So I said, well, that's a thought, I'll have to check it out. And I thanked him And he said he might try to make the stream today. He wasn't sure because our time zones like just don't work. Usually when I'm awake, he's asleep, that kind of thing. So definitely when I do the evening streams, there's no way. So maybe today he might pop in. I don't know. But in any event, I thought, well, heck, why not? Why not try it out and see if it works? Just do it live on the stream. I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I figured what I do is I have the 7806P here in front of me. And then off to the side here, you can't see all of it, but I have 2 IP phones and 3 access points that I want to measure the decibels now with the stock fans in it, the way it's been like super loud with all 5, like powering up 5 PoE devices, and then run the firmware update, and then take another decibel measurement with the 5 devices running and see if it really in fact does make a difference. So that's the plan. I figured I was going to do it anyway, might as well just do it live, and so whoever wants to join in can watch. I mean, nothing exciting, but why not? So let's go here, and let's just take a quick look at the release notes. Sometimes this website really drives me crazy. By the way, GrandStream definitely does listen to its customers. I mean, because they're rolling out features in the GCC that folks have been asking for. So it's really nice to see that they are doing, that they are listening, and they do make things happen, I guess, within their capabilities. So all right, so we're on their firmware download site, and we're looking at the switches. And I have the 7806P, so the official release is 1.0.13.6. And to be honest with you, this switch has been sitting in the box so long, I don't know what version it's running. I don't even know if I remember to log into it. I might have to factory reset it, just in case I took a picture of the password so that I could blow it up on my phone. And then here's the beta, 1.0.13.18. So if we click on that and we take a look at the release notes, let me just blow that up a little bit. And according to what it says here, it's for the 7800 series switch firmware release notes. And it's for 7801, 02, 03, and 06, which I have the 06, and then 7811, 7812, 13, and 16P, 7821 and 22P, and then the 7830, 7831, and the 7832 models. The release date was 4/24/25, so not too long ago. And then here under changes and enhancements right here, this is the one I'm interested in most. It says fixed issue that the fan keeps running nonstop, even the device is at low temperature. I think they meant to say even when the device is at low temperature. Fix a few other compatibilities with GDMS, cloud, and the 2.5 port displaying properly. And it fixed an issue with IGMP snooping that might cause multicast flooding. But in any event, like I said, the one I'm interested in and most interested in to see if it makes a difference is the one regarding the fan speed. So I'm going to go ahead and download this. I didn't download it yet. So let's see, for the 7806 and 7806P right there. And it's here. Of course, it's on my other screen. So let me drag it out to the desktop. Okay, so I have it there. All right, so now take a quick back look at the comments, see if anything has come in. Nope, no comments. If you're here, folks, say hello. I see Grish and James and Jeremy in the comments, but there's 6 of you here, so say hello. 6 of you, 5 likes. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you. We are listening. Okay. So what I want to do is power this guy up, and I have a power cord here. It's just going to be quite loud. Let me get my phone ready and find the app just to get a couple of different readings. We'll get a reading on power up. We'll get a reading after she settles down, and then we'll get a reading after we start plugging in the PoE devices. So I'm going to be quiet for a second so I can get a baseline reading in the room. Obviously the baseline is with all the gear here, including the rack. So I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to stop talking so I can get a baseline reading. Okay, so the room baseline is roughly between 34 and 35 decibels. So we use that as our base. Let me plug this guy in. Well, don't spoil it, Jason, because I got to do it anyway now. I committed to it. I see your comment. Welcome. All right, just on fire up, we jumped up to about 72 decibels. I would show it to you, but it's just going to be a big glare in the overhead camera. I'll get a network cable plugged in, still averaging around 72 decibels. In the meantime, while it's booting up, let me sign into the GCC. After initial boot at around 72 decibels, it just kicked back down to 34, 35, obviously because the fans shut down. Okay, so let me sign into the GCC and figure out what IP address this guy is grabbing. I think it's this one right here. Let me just flip back real quick. I think it's this guy right here. It's been only on for 21 seconds. So we got 192.168.25.196. So that's where we're going to go. And again, I don't know if I factory reset this switch or not. So I'm going to try what I think would be the password. And Jason, I'm sure you jumped all over this too because you have the same switch. And we were both trying different things a couple months ago, remember? Oh, look at that. I remembered the password. All right, very cool. So let's go over to maintenance and upgrade. And let's see, upload the firmware file. So it is called, let me just double check what it's called. 78xx firmware bin. Okay. Oh, wait, before I do that, I want to take some measurements with plugging in the devices before I do the firmware update. That would have been a waste of time if I didn't do that. So let's plug in the first one. The first one is an old Grand Stream. This looks like a 1625 maybe. It's an old phone. But anyway, doesn't matter because just want to power it up. There we go. That's one device booting up. And the fans kicked in. So one PoE device, the decibels went from basically 35 to 67 with just the phone powering up. Now I have an old Sangoma phone. This was my first IP phone when I was playing around with free PBX several years ago. That's two. GWN76xx access point. GWN 7665 access point. And a GWN 7660 as I fry my brain with all this stuff in front of me. Can't get much more fried than it is. All right, while everything's booting up, let's see what the comments, if anyone else has joined us. We have 8 people here, 8 likes. Cool. Thank you, folks. Jeremy says, I am still here, messing with fog from the laptop while I'm watching. Cool. Appreciate that. Jason, welcome. You know the outcome of this already. Like I said, please don't be a spoiler. Good afternoon, Steve. Welcome to the live stream. Good afternoon, Robert. The Switch beta firmware did fix the CPU utilization issue on my 7832, but it did not address the fans running at full speed on that same Switch. All right, well, we're going to see what happens here. Thanks, Robert, for sharing. Almost sounds like a torch on video. Yep. Robert says, I never opened a ticket on the fan speed, so maybe that fix did not include that model. Well, the GWN 7832 is managed, so I force set them to low. The temps are the same at high fan speeds. Good to know. 7821P and 7822 feed don't have any fan speed issues. And Robert also says I did open a new ticket for fan speeds for the 7832. Cool. Good afternoon, CH. I think I know who you are. You changed your ID, but I think I know who you are, and if it is, I'm going to say hi, Charles. And James says I am still here. Okay, so it looks like everything's booted up, and we have a 62 decibels. So that's what it is, running 5 PoE devices. It really didn't matter 1 or 5. It was at 62 with just one device. The fans just kicked in. So let me unplug it now. And, well, that was dumb. I should have unplugged the devices. Let me fire it back up because I want to upload the firmware, right? That was dumb. Now she's screaming on startup at 70, 72. Okay, so we have all the devices unplugged. Sorry about that. That was just a faux pas on my part. Let's see what other comments we have here. Oh, CH says, I am not that guy. Well, then welcome, CH, to the live stream. I don't believe I know who you are, but glad you're here. Let's just assume we have the same IP address. It's not booted up yet. Yep, took the same IP address, so let's switch over. There we go. Okay. And let's jump over to maintenance. Let's jump over to upgrade. Select file. It's on my desktop. Release. GWN78. Which one is it? This one right here. There's the file right there. Let's go ahead. Okay, upgrading. Do not power off. I'm just going to let that run. In the meantime, let's see if anybody else showed up. We have 8 viewers, 8 likes. Thanks, folks. Appreciate that. Trying to think what else we could talk about while this is upgrading. Like I said, I want to try to get a video out today after this live stream. So Jason says he's still here too. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. By the way, buddy, how have you been? We haven't spoken in a while. So I hope all is well up in Canada. I'm curious to see. I want to see if this actually does anything to the fans. We'll see. I hope so, but not looking too promising based on what Robert was saying earlier, but we'll see. Anyway, okay, so the video I want to try to knock out says upgrade failed. Check it out. Damn. Let's see. There's no, hold on one sec. I'm going to factory reset it because one time I did a factory reset on the Switch and I was able, this happened one other time before. So let me do a factory reset. Okay, she's factory resetting, so it'll take a few minutes to boot up. And there she goes again. All right, let me see what it says, Jay. Interesting. All right, well, if the firmware file fails, then maybe we will do this. Thank you. I hope you typed all the commands out correctly, because that's not my not my strong point, but I'll follow what you sent me. Let me just try it one more time. Let me try the firmware update one more time. All right, I'm not going to read your signal anymore, Jay. Damn it. All right. Let's go back. Let's see if I can get back in. I'll bring it up on screen as soon as I get in. Might have taken on a different IP address. Let me check. Nope, same one. There we go. I guess it just wasn't ready. All right, one more time. Password. Damn. All right. We're going to skip for now. All right, we're going to go back to maintenance. We're going to go upgrade. We'll try it one more time. If it fails again, we'll see. All right, it says it's upgrading, so we'll see what happens this time. So what's everybody else up to these days? Everybody good? Let's see if I can. Still 8 people here, so that's good. Jason says, I've been playing with a green screen, trying to perfect it to see if it will work for me in my videos. Did you actually buy a green screen? Did you buy the Elgato? Did you buy just a green piece of material and hang it? What did you do? Damn, it says upgrade failed. Huh. Switch has been nothing but a nightmare for me. So, let's see. I'm going to follow Jason's suggestion here. Let me see if I can just blow this up so you guys can see it. Stop. All right. All right, so let's see if we can SSH into the switch. Connection refused. Do I have to turn on? Let me see. Do I have to go to security? Jason, do you know off the top of your head if there's a way to, if you can disable SSH on this particular switch? Access control, let's see. Is that it? Looks like I froze. Huh. Check it out. Not only refused SSH access, but it's, let's see. '96 still there. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, we'll reboot the sucker again. That's weird. All right. Well, that's, sorry for the noise. So Jason says, green material, but next on list to buy 2 softbox lights. Trying to perfect my video quality and stance. Cool. So on the, I'll move away from that for a little bit. On the material, Jason, just a couple of tips, because I went that route years ago. Make sure you light the green screen as best as you can evenly, and make sure, however you're hanging it, if it's on stands or a pole going across, make sure it's taut. Make sure there are no wrinkles in it. The less wrinkles, the more taut it is, and the more evenly you light that green screen, the better key you're going to end up getting. So you need to have lights on you, the subject, but then you need lights to separate lighting to light and evenly light that green screen. So that's the best advice I can give you on that. So let's see. TVJ's here. Welcome. TVJ says, wish I knew you were going live. I would have been watching, but we are just sitting down for lunch. I will watch the replay. Oh, no worries, Jay. I didn't know I was going to go live, to be honest with you, depending on my timing today. So nothing special. I was trying to update the 78xx, but it keeps failing. Jason says, yeah, I found that all out with the green screen. Wrinkles are bad. Yep. So, but lighting is key. Lighting is key. So, all right. So we got 9 people here, 8 likes. Jay, before you leave, if you can hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Looks like the switch is back. Let me just see if I can get in. Ah, damn password again. I should have changed it. Thanks for your patience, folks. Like I said, I would have stumbled through this offline, so I might as well stumble through it online. All right. So we are in, and I'm not even going to bother trying to not even going to bother trying to do the firmware update again. So again, you guys who've been following my channel know I am kind of a novice with the command line, so patience with me. I learn as I go. I learn as I need it. So I'm assuming, Jason, that's -I, capital I. And let's see. All right. See if it refuses me again and locks up. Ah, look at that. Let me in. Did I mess something up here? Ah, the damn password again. Should have changed it. Okay, so looks like I'm in. Ta-da! And to force the fan speed, since the upgrade failed multiple times, let's see if we can force the fan speeds. Let's see if what Jason sent me, if the commands he sent me are correct. So show fan. All right, Jason. Wow, wait a minute. Just show fan. There we go. Okay. So fan one stop to okay. So then show temperature. You guys like watching an idiot in the command line? I spelt that wrong. Is that right? Temperature. Okay, 45 degrees Celsius. Fan mode underscore force. Let's see what we got. Unknown command. Okay, so fan speed stop. What am I doing wrong, Jason, with the fan speed, fan mode? You could put it, Jason, in the regular chat. Yeah, I'm not. I hold no, reservations about the fact that when it comes to this stuff, it's just always a learning process for me. So you don't have to put it just in Signal. I appreciate you're wanting to conceal, but it's okay to just put it in the regular chat. Okay. Robert says I got to type configure. Thank you guys. I mean, okay. And now Robert or Jason, now that I'm in the configure, this is like the Edge router. You used to have to type configure as well. I should know that, but all right. Fan mode force low. Okay. Unknown command. What the I typed it wrong. All right, did I get it right? Fan mode underscore force low. Unknown command. Fan mode underscore force low. Unknown command. What am I missing, guys? Okay, and now do the fan mode force low. Fan mode. Robert's saying fan mode underscore force fan speed low. Type it as two commands. Thank you guys. Fan. This is how I learned though. Fan mode underscore force. I'm typing the same thing again, aren't I? Unknown command. I'm already in force. So just type in fan speed low. What? Fan speed low. Fan speed low. Okay. Is that right? There we go. Ta-da! The idiot did it. Okay, so what do we got as a reading here now? No, thank you guys. I appreciate your help. We'll plug in the 7660. I got to get out of config, right? All right, so it's confirming that the 3 fans status are normal and the speed is low. So Robert, is it the save? If I do it via SSH, is it save and then commit? Like on an edge router? So even at low speed with one PoE device in, I'm going to be quiet so I can get a reading. It's at 63. So it really didn't make a difference because it was at, oh, it was at 72. No, that 72 was when it first booted up. But then when I plugged in the PoE devices earlier, wasn't my reading around 62, if I'm not mistaken? So even now with the fan speed set to low, it's still very audible. And it's hovering around 63. All right, so yeah, and Jason's saying, yep, so save. And commit. Is it commit like that? Yeah, just doing just a little bit. I was able to save it, but I'm not. It won't commit. Why is that? Help me out, guys. Save should be it, but the command line help is helpful. All right. Well, I'm gonna exit. All right. I'm not gonna use this switch anyway because it's just way too loud for this studio. But I was kind of hoping that the firmware update would have made a difference. And thank you guys for helping me and putting up with me with my command line. I'm really a novice. I really am. And I should commit to learning more. But I kind of treat it as, because it's not my forte, I kind of treat it as I'll do it on an on-demand basis, like as I need it. I'll search and try to figure out what commands to type and make errors and try again and maybe ask Jeremy here and there for help. But it's not something I do day in and day out. So I feel like for me, as on-demand basis is good enough. So, but I thank you guys all for your help on that. I'm unplugging this switch because it's annoying me. There. Okay. Bummer that it didn't take the firmware update for sure, though. Let's see. Where are we here? Jason says, my Switch is packed up in the box and now under the bed for another day's adventure. This Switch has been packed up and been under the box, packed up under the workbench back there ever since I tried changing the fans on it. Since then, I bought the 7816P, which is the layer 3 version of this Switch, much quieter. So if they could do it with the 7816P, still 3 fans just like this one, There's no reason why this one has to be that loud. Save should be it, but the command line is helpful. Thanks, Robert. Thank you for your help, Robert. Thank you for your help, Jason. Yeah, see, on the Edge router, it's save and then commit. So, and that's how I knew how to get out of the configure mode from dabbling in the Edge router over the years. So, anyway, yeah, that's about it. So, unfortunately, the firmware update was a fail. I'll probably try it again when I have more time, but it's not going to happen today because I do want to knock out a video, hopefully, and get it released before I head up north to travel. I want to, so I did the video on, let's see, I did the video on the beta firmware update for the GCC earlier in the week, but I really only focused on the firewall updates to the actual firewall rules with the clone feature and the addition of IP groups. And I know Willie did a video, a pretty in-depth video on he covered, like, he went through all the firmware updates. He went like right through if you haven't seen the video, he went right through the release notes and pretty much touched on every update that's coming to the GCC. What I want to do is I want to do my 5 top favorite of all of them, because there's a lot. I mean, like I said, Willie went through a lot. I want to do my 5 top favorites for my use cases and my potential, clients. Everybody's top 5 obviously will be different based on what the use cases are. But for me, I think I'm going to do my 5 top upgrades coming to the GCC in a video. So, and it shouldn't be long, so it shouldn't take too long to record. But in any event, folks, thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for teaching me some things today. I do appreciate it. Let me see. I saw Robert open up a text here. I would open up a ticket with GS just to provide feedback and reference this video. Yep, probably a good idea. I've had really good luck with Grand Stream support with the ticket system and the techs that have taken on my tickets over the last couple of weeks. So I may just do that. It's not urgent, again, because this is basically going to be, I hate to say it, but a dust collector, paper stop for the desk kind of thing. But yeah, in time I will. CH, thank you for being here. I appreciate you thanking me for my time. So that's about it for now. On to recording a video, and hopefully I can get that released. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging in here with me on a Saturday afternoon. Where we live for 59, 1 hour. So technically we hit a JAU, but I know we're not doing that anymore. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully I'll try to be back next week with another live stream. I don't know why I'm live streaming every week now, but hey, take it while I'm willing to do it. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Take care.